If you watched last week's video, you know that I revealed the best online business to start in 2024. And if you haven't watched that yet, I highly suggest you go take a look. The link is in the description. And if you don't know, I have been doing this for quite some time, almost a decade, and working really closely with people in turning their expertise, their skill set, their knowledge into highly impactful and highly scalable online education businesses. Now, when I say that, you think of an online course, but the issue is when I say online course, it's not what you think it is. If you want to make an online course that actually works and people want, it is not what may come to mind, because most people think an online course is taking every single ounce of knowledge that you have on a subject, putting it into a curriculum, and slapping it into a course platform. But today, that doesn't fly. That just doesn't work. Online courses have evolved a lot, and so have the clients for those programs. And today, to create an online course that people are really excited about and actually want to spend their hard-earned money on to get something out of it, you need two key things. Number one, you have to have a core transformation that you can create for your clients. And number two, you have to have an efficient blueprint to get your client that result, and that is your curriculum. And if you're sitting here listening to me and going, yeah, but where am I gonna put the course? What platform should I use? What's the best online course platform? Please listen to me when I say this. If you have no program and no transformation, you do not need to worry about a platform yet. Why? Because there's so much information for free on the internet that your only focus right now needs to be in creating the best possible transformative online program, and then you can worry about what platform to put it on, which is honestly the easiest part. The difference between an online course that you can absolutely monetize and is based on your knowledge and that people want to buy is very simple. It's either Googleable or it's profitable. A Googleable course is a recipe for disaster. A Googleable course means that you have filled your course with information that people can find for free on the internet, therefore nobody's going to buy it. A profitable course means that people are happy to invest because they want the efficiency of a proven plan to get them the outcome and the transformation that they are seeking from someone who knows how to get them there. Let me paint you a picture and give you a prime example of this. A Googleable online course would be how to speak Italian. Tons of people in the world want to know it, tons of YouTube videos out there on the topic, tons of blogs on the topic, tons of people teaching this, and also tons of people selling programs on this for very low price points because they're serving the general public. Versus a profitable topic, which is one of our clients has taken that concept and she's found a way to turn it into something that is very in demand by a very particular group of people. Why? Because she is serving people who want to relocate to Italy and get a job there so they can become one of the locals. So they have to learn how to speak the language. If they go there and they don't speak the language, they're not going to be able to get a job. So that is highly urgent, highly painful, and therefore she's attracting clients, and her price point for her program goes from $9.99, literally $9.99, to a program that she can be selling for thousands of dollars, and she is selling for thousands of dollars. Do you see the key difference there? So the first thing we need to identify is we have to identify the outcome that you're gonna provide with your online program. What is it that you're gonna help people do, achieve, or become with your online program? Once you dial in the outcome, then you work backwards to identify your ideal client that you're actually going to serve, just like in that example I just shared with you. So what it requires is you need to build out the map. So you have your outcome of, let's say, learning to speak Italian in a confident, comfortable, and conversational way so that these people can actually become a local in Italy, wherever they choose to move. If somebody is seeking that outcome, their starting point needs to be incredibly specific. So this person can't just be wanting to learn Italian for fun or as a hobby. This person needs to be at a place where they are actively seeking out job opportunities in Italy. They are actively seeking to relocate to Italy. So the difference here is, and if you look at it on the map and the trajectory of going from 0 to hero, which is how we identify who your ideal client is, if we try to serve the people who are just doing this as a hobby, their path of getting to that outcome, being able to relocate to Italy, is so much longer because they don't really care that much. They're not going to put in the time and investment to do the work. But if you have somebody who is actually looking for a job or maybe even has a job already in Italy, they have to invest. They have to do the work to get that end result. So their path is a lot shorter. Therefore, the results are going to be even better. And that is also just going to give you, as the course creator, so much more proof of how powerful your program is, because the people who are investing are not just investing financially, they're investing mentally, emotionally, and they're investing their time and resources to get that result, which only proves how well your program works. I want to show you one more example of this to really paint the picture. Let's say the outcome you want to provide is to help people live their best life. Okay, let's then reverse engineer and figure out who the ideal client is. Well, it could be a woman who's just had a baby, who is seeking to reclaim her identity and find herself. Or it could be a man in his 50s who's working in a corporate job but is overcome with incredible anxiety, and therefore he's not able to go after the promotion that he's seeking to be in a leadership position. Or it could be the high school student who is trying to acquire a scholarship for university but just doesn't know how to get there. How would you possibly create one program to serve all of those people? You can't. That's why picking out that ideal client and where they're at is vital to the success of your online course. And the specificity of your outcome is directly related to finding ideal clients who are excited to invest in your program. And when it comes to monetizing your knowledge with an online course, we use something called a backwards business plan, because what most people do when they're creating an online business is they think, I need to start creating social media content, posting online to build an audience to eventually, hopefully sell to them. The problem with that is that you could build this audience and then create something for them to buy, but nobody wants to buy it. So we like to start with, what is it that you actually want to sell? Who do you want to sell it to? And then you create your messaging and your marketing, which generates qualified leads, which turns into sales. And this solves a big problem in allowing you to market less, but get more clients. Because every piece of content that you create online is speaking to the two things that any algorithm needs to know in order to push your content in front of the right people. And those two factors are, who are you trying to attract, and what do you want to be known for? When you have those two key things dialed in every piece of content you create on social media, you are going to acquire clients in a much easier and more efficient way. So once you know ultimately what the outcome is that you're providing with your program, you've reverse engineered to figure out exactly who it is that you're serving. Now we have to find those people. So this is where you validate and magnetize to monetize. So you are actually going to seek out your ideal client online in all the places that they may be hanging out. Now, here are a few prompts to help you find where your ideal clients are hanging out. If you were to look for the solution to the problem your ideal client is facing at their zero state, what would you type into the Google search bar? If you were to look for the solution to the problem your ideal client is facing at the zero state, what would you type into the YouTube search bar? What are some of the video titles or search results that come up when you type this into Google or YouTube? If you do the same thing on Amazon, what are the top 10 books in that category, and what are the chapters inside of those books? Are there Facebook groups that are serving your ideal client? Are you a member of them? Are there current online programs or courses on this topic? Are there influencers or thought leaders in the space? And what would your ideal client be spending money on right now to currently solve this problem? Using those prompts and doing that research is going to not only help you find what your ideal client is looking for ultimately, which is going to help you create a much better program, but it's actually going to help you find your ideal clients to engage with them. Once you find them, then you want to start conversations with them. You want to ask them, what is it that you would love to have help with around this topic? Or if you could create a dream solution to your problem right now, what would that be? How can I best serve you in getting to that solution? Asking them these kinds of questions allows you to truly understand your ideal client at a deep level. So again, you're not just winging it and putting all of your information into an online course and hoping people buy it, but you actually know you're creating something that is going to truly serve people and impact people, and it's something that they want, which then allows you to create that curriculum and that blueprint to take them from 0 to hero. And something really important to consider here when you're listening to people and doing this research is you want to create a prescription business, not a vitamin business. A vitamin business means that it's a nice to have. We all take vitamins every single day, but sometimes we forget and it's not really a big deal. If you are prescribed something because you have to get rid of an illness, you are going to remember to take that because you are in pain and you are desperate to feel better. So your online program isn't a vitamin. It isn't it's a nice to have. You need to look at your online program as the prescription that your ideal client needs to create the result that they're looking for. From there, to monetize your knowledge with an online course, you need to create a prototype. We call it a P.O.P, profitable offer prototype. This means that you're creating a very bare bones version of your program. You deliver it in a live setting to your initial group of clients who most likely you spoke to and did research with, and then when you had something to offer, they were excited to invest into it. They are going to test the curriculum, give you feedback so that you can make it the best it can be when you do ultimately package it. But what this does is it starts to create a business that can grow on its own. Why? Because there is a flywheel to success when it comes to creating an online business. First and foremost, you have to have a transformational program that you know how to sell to your ideal client. From there, your ideal client is getting incredible transformations inside the program. And ultimately, those results and those client outcomes are the things that are going to keep selling the program for you because it leads to so much social proof and ambassadors who vouch for you and your expertise and that you are the go-to in this space to get the result people are looking for. And this is where it's important to understand that if you have social proof, if you have people saying how great your program is and you actually have results that you can share, that is the best marketing that you can do for your online course business over anything else, over any tactic or TikTok or Reel or anything else you could create. Results speak louder than any marketing strategy ever could. Now, when it comes to selling an online course, there are two options for how you can sell. You can sell directly so that people can just go to a website and purchase it, or you can sell by application only. Now, I've done both in my business, and my absolute preference is to have application only. Why? Because I want to ensure anybody that we enroll into our program has the best chance of success because they're at the right place on their journey where they're gonna take it seriously and they're actually gonna do the work. If you allow anybody on the internet to buy your program, what do you think it leads to? It leads to the wrong people enrolling who aren't ready to do the work, who aren't getting results, who are gonna say that your program doesn't work, but really they're just not the right client, and that is going to kill your business. And I showed this chart in the last video, but I think it's worth repeating because so many times, again, people have a misconception about what an online course is. They think, let me package up all my knowledge and sell it for a really low price on the internet and hope that it makes some money, and that's gonna be my ticket to freedom. That's not generally how it works. So instead, what you want to look at is you want to look at what's the transformation I'm providing for people and how valuable is that to people? What's it costing them to not have the solution that they're seeking? And usually the cost is quite high, not even just financially, but mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. So if you can save people time, energy, effort, and headache by providing them the efficient blueprint that they need to get the result that they're looking for, you can price your program at a premium level. And what that means is you need less clients, which allows you to be high touch with the clients you do enroll and only enroll the right people that you're excited to work with. And your profit margins are going to be incredibly high, which is going to allow you to reinvest back into your business and truly create a business, not just a little side hustle that's maybe generating a few dollars here and there, but is not really allowing you to grow and to scale. So if you look at this chart, if you enroll 2,000 clients at $500 with your course, that's going to make you $1 million. If you enroll 1,000 clients at $1,000, that's going to make you $1 million. But I want you to look closely at this because it doesn't require a lot of clients for you to hit your goals with your business. So if you're ultimately trying to scale up to $1 million business, if you're selling your program for $5,000, which is not abnormal, depending on the outcome you're providing, you only need 200 clients a year in order to achieve that number. Now, when it comes to that backwards business plan that I mentioned earlier, once you have clarity on your offer and you have clarity on your ideal client and you've proven your program, then you can start marketing in a way where your content is ultimately working for you. Every piece of content you're creating is speaking directly to your ideal client. And if you're using a platform like YouTube, you're being discovered every single day by your ideal clients without doing more work. This allows you to build your audience on autopilot. You don't have to use paid advertising. You can eventually if you have enough cash flow and capital in your business to reinvest, but you don't need to. And you're building authority while you're sleeping. This allows you to not only monetize your knowledge with an online course, but allows you to smash and break the trading time for money hamster wheel. What I mean by that is you're creating a business that has an asset that works for you without you having to trade your time for money. So your impact and your income can continue to grow while your energy, time, and resources stay the same. Now, if you're thinking to yourself, well, why wouldn't I just do this with multiple courses? If I just create a bunch of courses for a bunch of different people? The reason is that's going to create what's called horizontal scaling instead of vertical scaling. Horizontal scaling means that you're spreading yourself so thin because you're ultimately having to market, sell, fulfill, have customer service for all of these different courses instead of just focusing on the one person that you need to serve at the highest level, allowing you to have less clients, to market less, and to continue to grow as much as you want to while only putting in the same amount of effort and energy. And just imagine for a second, if you are trying to serve multiple people with multiple different courses, think about how challenging that makes it to market online. Why? Because like I said, the algorithm needs to know who you're serving and what you want to be known for. And so if you are trying to serve multiple different people, the algorithm has no idea how to categorize you, and therefore your content doesn't get seen by anyone, which does you a massive disservice and the clients who actually really need you a massive disservice because they can't find you. So when it comes to monetizing your knowledge online, the biggest thing you need to focus on is your core transformation. Now, this is just the tip of the iceberg. If you're ready to take your knowledge and your expertise and have a big impact on a global level, that's what we help people do. So there is a link in the comments below. You'll see it pinned, and all you need to do is fill out an application and let us know what you want to do with your online program this year. What are your goals? And then we would love to speak to you to support you in getting there. So just fill out the application. That is step number 1. Thanks for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe for new videos on Tuesdays, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.